METS Ignited is the industry growth centre for mining equipment, technology and services. Australia's METS sector is a recognised world leader in innovation and technology, delivering the safety, environmental and productivity outcomes that sustain our global resources sector. The success of Australia's METS companies has created more highly skilled jobs and expanded the local economic contribution of Australia's leading technology sector.
My name is Robbie Rowe and I'm here today to present progress at SensOre. SensOre and its predecessor Yilgarn Exploration were founded in 2018 to progress the application of machine learning and AI technologies for new mineral discovery. We aim to be at the forefront and a leader in this emerging and rapidly evolving field of application. We all recognise that the mining sector still faces a major challenge to discover the new mines of the future. The challenge is not only to replace depletion of known reserves by mining production, but also to keep pace with an exponential growth in demand for commodities, especially as the world shifts towards renewable sources of energy and the global community increases reliance on critical minerals. We know the downward trends in the mining sector and must accept that these have resulted from declining exploration performance for new, large, high-quality discoveries. Historically, the more we invested in exploration, the more we found. Then in the mid-1990s, this relationship decoupled at the very time we started looking deeper and undercover. Put simply, the toolbox we use is very effective for shallow deposits, but not so effective for looking deeper. We need new, more effective tools for prediction. To meet this challenge and reset Australia's perceived maturity clock, the SensOre approach is to use technology combined with big data. On the technology side, SensOre's discriminate predictive targeting follows demonstrated predictive technologies successfully deployed in other sectors. DPT is not a black box solution, rather a sophisticated augmented workflow combining the best of the human brain, using reason, intelligence, critical thinking, and decision making with high-powered and computer-assisted statistics and machine learning algorithms. It is best thought of machine augmented exploration. On the data side, many layers of geoscience and mining related data are acquired, cleaned, curated for structured ingestion by DPT. More about the current West Australian data cube later. In terms of a practical workflow, the application of the four-step process involves step 1, data, acquiring, cleaning, feature engineering to optimize the data and integrating it into a large data hypercube. At this point, the data is commodity agnostic. It's just data. Step 2, training. We then train the data layers with high quality candidate endowment data sets, mines, resources, and occurrences across the whole terrain to identify all signals and all signatures of known deposit types for a given commodity. Step 3, then we predict and discriminate. The known endowment is removed from the system and using combined correlations deployed to both locate and classify endowment from data. Whilst it does a very good job at finding a known endowment, more than 85%, it also locates signals across the terrain in data with no known endowment for all deposit types and styles. These are the next generation of exploration targets. At the same time of locating new targets, the resultant signal can also be used to quantitatively discriminate and filter these targets based on size, grade, depth predictions. These can then be used to rank target acquisition and prioritize testing in exploration portfolios. Finally, we analyze and make decisions. After a process of human analysis and validation, the untested targets are acquired either through new tenement applications or joint ventures. So how is this approach different? Conventional modern exploration is a process of acquiring data that we like, we're familiar with, can get our hands on or can afford. We then take the data and layer it up and interpret it and target to move down the scale and then repeat. This methodical reduction and interpretation stepwise process is not quantitative in nature and is over-reliant on human experience. Consequently, this is heavily biased on qualitative knowledge, not of quantitative data. The advantage of using data through DPT over conventional exploration is that all data can be assessed and simultaneously used across scales, therefore using all the data to its greatest potential, rather than through a methodical manual scale reduction process where a fraction of the data is used to its potential. Our objective is to reduce the number of targets tested and consequently the number and cost of exploration by 1 to 2 orders of magnitude. Again, SensOre's edge in applying machine learning through DPT is achieved by combining technology with data. On the technology side, the discriminant functionality allows a focus on key economic predictor parameters, size, grade, and depth, to filter and prioritize quantitative decision making. Using appropriate statistical approaches and machine learning algorithms across all 4 classes on clean, structured, and curated data allows quantitative correlation of known endowment with data. The scale of application is very important, simply because the statistical data and deposit correlations from across the terrain and globally increase the predictions for under-recognized or even unrecognized deposit styles rather than local analogies. This data allows deployment of several proprietary tools for target classification and vectoring within targets for drill testing, including AGLADS, iFertile, and iDeposit. On the data side, the current West Australian data cube is rapidly growing in terms of geographic size with new data layers. Currently, it contains 7.5 million 400-metre data cells in nearly 2,500 layers of data for 24 billion data points. A significant milestone was achieved early in Q2 this year with the ingestion of 6.5 million surface samples and 280 million downhole samples from publicly available GSWA data. This proved to be a mammoth undertaking, but achievable with development of automated data cleaning algorithms. We're well advanced in expanding the Hypercube across Australia in 2021 through the addition of data from other state surveys, Geoscience Australia, and research organisations. Starting in Q1 2019, SensOre, through its subsidiary Yilgarn Exploration Ventures, commenced acquiring a number of DPT targets, either through open ground applications or earning joint ventures. Many of these predicted targets are either covered or have not previously been effectively explored. So initial testing has been a combination of acquiring appropriate infill geophysical or geochemical data where required prior to drill testing. This new data acquisition commenced only in March of this year. And after integration of the new data into the drilling program designs, we started drilling in July of this year. 4 first pass drill targets have been completed, 1 is currently underway, and 2 will be tested in the coming months. In addition to the current exploration portfolio, SensOre is actively completing analytics on many targets within the Yilgarn and Greater Western Australia for acquisition and testing in 2021. During 2020, some key partnerships were formed resulting from interest in SensOre's application of the technology data approach. On the portfolio side, Yilgarn Exploration Ventures received strategic funding from DGO Gold, who are investing $4 million for 40% of YEV. DGO have a 2-pronged strategy of investing in ASX-listed brownfield explorers and acquiring strategic global-scale greenfield discovery opportunities. The application of DPT fits into this strategy in both recognising upside in brownfield environment and opening new greenfield opportunities. On the technology side, SensOre teamed up with both IBM and CSIRO. IBM and SensOre are looking at working together by leveraging mutual strengths. The 2 companies will align value proposition to combine exploration with Watson platform and SensOre's data cube and DPT technology. With CSIRO, through a Kickstart agreement, CSIRO and Data 61 and SensOre are working together at optimizing DPT workflow in data cleaning, training, and predictions. Access to CSIRO and Data 61's experience and expertise in data science is proving invaluable in accelerating the technology development. Finally, in mid-2020, BHP and SensOre commenced a joint targeting initiative in Western Australia, specifically for nickel. Having a major global leading mining client with an interest in early adoption and deployment of predicting technologies is a significant milestone for SensOre. We are pleased to report that continuing and growing interest in SensOre and a general growing interest in the role of predictive analytics in mineral exploration. So in summary, SensOre is well positioned for the next phase of growth by strengthening the technology and growing the data across Australia and internationally. SensOre, through discriminate predictive targeting, will disrupt greenfield and brownfield exploration targeting workflow. There is now real potential to deliver transformational orders of magnitude improvement in exploration performance. Utilisation of available big data with a focus on economic parameters can change investment decisions and follow on capital allocation in mineral exploration. SensOre's business model is designed to deliver revenue through assets, services and technology via transactions and recurring revenue streaming. Thanks for your attention, and thanks again to IMARC and METS Ignited for the opportunity to present today. Thanks very much.
METS Ignited is the industry growth centre for mining equipment, technology and services. Australia's METS sector is a recognised world leader in innovation and technology, delivering the safety, environmental and productivity outcomes that sustain our global resources sector. The success of Australia's METS companies has created more highly skilled jobs and expanded the local economic contribution of Australia's leading technology sector.